Alright, welcome back to the Dearly Beloved YouTube channel. Today we are going to take a deep dive in what I have learned with the Ui24. You know, the last 6-7 months I've been using it to do the videos. I'll show you why I use it, how I use it for my videos specifically, then also how you might want to use it live in a band setting. And if you already have a Ui24, hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight on what you want to do in a band setting or in like a creator setting like this. And this goes for kind of any digital mixer, but specifically the controls I will show you today, Ui24. So when you see me moving stuff around, I'm just going to do it on my phone. Boom. It looks like this on the phone. We'll get a nice close shot, but I'm going to just screen record. You guys will be able to see as I make the changes. All right, let's get after it. Let's go. Okay, so in doing this, we're just going to show you through kind of like what I have on the mixer, how the gain is set, the overall levels. I'm just using the first 3 channels, but we're going to talk about lavaliers and how I make this sound good and why I've chosen the EQ. I'll mess around with it and you guys will be able to see it. So first, let's go to the overall gain. I've just set the gain plus 48 volts. Gotta have them 48 volts on. Phantom power, y'all. Phantom power. If you have a condenser mic, it's not working. Ooh, I don't know what's wrong with the cable. Click the phantom power button. It's probably what it is. I can't even tell you how many times I've been hired to come over and like, I can't get the mics to work. I don't know what's going on. Turns out they switched out a couple mics for a condenser or something special that they didn't understand, and it's just a quick little button push. So people know, just so everybody out there knows, if you're running something with condenser mic, go ahead and hit it on. There are certain mics that you want to stay away from phantom power. Just kind of defer to manufacturer specs on those. There's a huge range out there, but most of the time it's not going to really care, especially on a dynamic mic. It's not going to care at all. So, all right, so I have the overall gain is set about like a quarter. Like it's not hot, man. If I bring it up, it starts to get a little like in the ears. Oh, gross. So I want to keep that nice, deep, low, almost like I'm reading an audiobook, like just nice and smooth, kind of that podcasty type, voice. I have a darker voice anyway, so it kind of lends itself to my tone. All right, let's go ahead and show you how the EQ is set to kind of complement my voice that I have, on the darker, deeper side. So with that kind of timbre, here is the EQ that I have set. So right here you have a high pass and a low pass filter. I've kind of brought it into kind of the range of where my vocals are. So if I keep sweeping this, say the low pass filter, so check, all the highs are going out and it's just mud. Check, boom, there it is. So that also allows this right here in the highs. That's where a lot of your clarity is. So as I move this up, it gets a little bit, that's a little bit much. So I'm going to back it back down where it's still clear, but it's not like, it's not hurting my ears. Now where some of my mud in my voice is right here at about, what is that? Like 700, 800K. 800K is pretty notorious for being muddy. So just keep that in your back pocket. Anything to do with like lower shapes, there's like, there's a little bit of mud there. Like, well, be careful no note is being played there, but that's where most of the mud lives, especially even in a drum mix, bass guitar. Like that 800 can be pretty muddy. So I have that notched out. So I'll bring that back up. Check. So it's like, it's really abrasive, like almost kind of nasally. And then you go check, and then it just smooths right out. So it makes a big difference just to have that little bit of a change right there, just that one annoying frequency. So now let's talk about the overall Q. So the quality. So as I move this down, it's going to flatten everything out. And if I move it back up, it's going to kind of, there's the original. So I have it pretty dialed. I'm going to back it off just a little bit so it just smooths. So it's not so hard of a transition between like my syllables that I'm talking. So for even a speaking engagement, if you're just running this to go out and, hey, I just need to speak. Well, yeah, dial people like this. If they have a brighter voice, maybe bring up a little bit more mids and a little bit more highs. But for most males, this is going to be pretty close to kind of that darker, deep kind of podcast voice that people are going for. So if I roll off the lows, you'll kind of hear it's just kind of the highs. So we'll just sweep this in and it kind of just everything drops off. My voice isn't really down there, but now the room kind of sounds like hollow. Kind of hollow and dead. So we'll bring that back just slowly. Okay, the richness is back now. Now it sounds full. Now it sounds there's like some body to it. Excuse me. All right, sounds like there's some body to it now. So, okay, that's kind of the overall main thing. Now, as far as like you see these on the top one, the middle, and then this guy over here. They're a little bit wider EQ curves. So that's this Q in the middle. So I can make it rounder and kind of roll it up, or I can kind of sharpen it off. So it sounded pretty good, like just a nice and wide right there, and just kind of dip out of the way over here for where the annoying frequencies live. So this one right here I have set up. So if you can take your Q, you can kind of roll it up. Kind of see, okay, that's a little bit too bassy. We're going to pull it down. I'm going to pull that E curve a little bit so when I have my P's and my T's, it's not going to be so prevalent. So I go pa, 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 pa. It's just got the little in the, it like almost picks up my throat right here. So I just want to roll that out a little bit. So I want a little bit of low, maybe just a little bit. Yeah, right there. Okay, that sounds freaking fantastic. Pretty close to where it was. I'm sure if I had screenshotted it, it'd be pretty close. I just go by ear. All right, so I have two microphone cables coming from the Ui24. The main out's just left and right, and it's going straight into this camera over here in the XLR ins. I'll get like a little picture like, boom, this is one, this is two. So the preamp in my camera, I've noticed, is quite bright. So from the 1200 to the like 3800 to 4500, it's got this really weird like bright hump. So sometimes stuff sounds a little bit brighter than I want. So I'm kind of exploring different options even for me. This is something I knew the unit could do, but I've recently learned how it works. I mean, it's pretty simple. You literally just load a fast enough USB stick in there, make sure it's at good speed, and hit the record button. It's top right, freaking top right. I'll go bing, freaking point that out. So it's pretty easy to go. And then you have your overall master out. So if I bring this up, you'll hear it start to like, ooh, it's almost clipping the camera. So it sounds weird. So I'm going to bring it back down, About right there is where kind of the magic is. Like that's nice and smooth. That'll change as soon as I click those mics on over there. Sometimes you can get it to where it's, ooh, that's really nice. Switching between the two, you don't have to make any adjustments. It's a quick little adjustment though. I literally just move the slider up and down just a hair, make sure it sounds good in my ears. So when I go home and listen to it on my monitors at the house, it's nice and even. It doesn't sound muddy. It's nice and clear. Like that's really good, especially if you're developing a tone and a craft for like a band, a songwriting session. I want very specific tones. So you do an individual track recording, everybody's jamming out, and then you can isolate everybody's parts. It's like, ooh, okay, I want this to be a little bit dirtier on this. We need to make it a little bit brighter over here to do the mix. You can change that in EQ and software, but just as a band note, so they can hear it in real time. Hey, this is what would be going to an audience most likely. Let's make some changes. Let's really hone our craft. So if you have tools like this as a band, like use them to your full potential. Like figure out every little way that can give you an advantage in either the writing process, the overall production value. If you want to shoot your own music videos like live, and you can get like really good quality audio, sync it up to a couple of videos, and that would be freaking sick. Hey, Mason, let's do that. He's got a Ui24 at his house. He's had a lot of time to play around with this, and it's kind of his reason I'm doing this second video. He's like, dude, this is the video that's like I want to know more about because I have one of these. So, all right, Mason, let's get with your band, dude. Let's do a live band practice and make it all dialed. See how good I can get the sound in the room versus what we would do in post. I think that'd be sick, dude. Boom. Now we can see everything again. Okay, we're gonna go to the overall gate. So gate is just a noise gate. It's a freaking noise gate. So I'm gonna move this up. Check, 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 check. Cool. So I want it to where it's nice and clear. But when I stop breathing, there's not picking up it's not picking up my feet. Okay, just a little bit of a gate right there will go a long way in a studio, especially make it expedient like this. Now, if you're tracking for an album or something like that, maybe not use a gate. Maybe for convenient purposes, but it's so handy. It's so freaking handy. Then boom, overall compressor. So you have the one on the left over here is your threshold. That is how quiet or how loud does it have to be before the compressor actually starts reducing your volume. So I go up about halfway, and then I will move the ratio. So this right here, this fader also controls this little thing right here. So if I go check, 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 and I bring this down, check, 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 check. The bar that goes on the far right, that's the amount of volume it's pulling out. So sometimes it's a really good idea to just watch what is getting reduced. It's like, hey, does that sound clear? Does that sound good? Do I have a vocalist? If you're doing a band live or in band practice, do you have a vocalist like, hey, this is getting a little bit harsh. Let's pull it back a little bit. Or they're really inconsistent. They don't know how to stay on a mic. They are here 1 second and then and then just like ah! And you just want to scream. You just want to take their heads off. So annoying. So throwing a compressor almost at infinity at a low level, so where everything is just super compressed, it's going to be better for the audience to be able to hear it than the singer being just not prepared and to sing his part correctly with good mic control. Some people are better than others. It takes a lot of time to get good with it. I can barely talk and play guitar, so take that for what it's worth. But just, I've seen good vocalists that focus on being right up on that mic and really consistent. It comes across. Having in-ears really helps because then you can really hear yourself and how you're, oh geez, what do they freaking eat? Oh. Okay, so if you have in-ear monitors or a way that you can really hear yourself even during band practice, have freaking everybody in headphones. Even though the room is loud, have people in headphones, have stuff mic'd up. Do your best to be able to hear everything because the better you can hear, the better you can perform. So a lot of your guys that have been on mics a long time, no monitors down here. They make sure that they can hear in their ears. They're on the mic. They know when it's loud. They know when it's quiet, so they know to regulate and fix that. Those things you don't got to worry about. That's what you should aspire to be if you're doing vocals. I'm working on it. It's hard. It's really hard for me. But hey, you don't get better unless you practice. Okay, so now we're going to talk about effects. It's got a whole bunch of effects like reverb, and obviously we have our compressor, gate, stuff like that. But you have your overall effect sense. So you have a full lexicon set. So being Harman products, it's got all the cool old lexicon reverbs, delays, echoes. It's pretty sick. So we'll just go ahead and go check 1 2 check. So I want to go talk about effects, but apparently I can only get the delay to work. I don't know why. I had the reverb working earlier. I don't understand what I did. So I'm gonna have to say, okay, cool. It's the effects are there. You can use it. Here's the delay. Move it up, check. That one works easy. Nothing else is muted. They're all routed the same. I don't know why it's not coming on. So I don't know. Whatever. So moving on. So yeah, then you have your auxiliary sends. So this is the auxiliary sends, all 8. So you have monitors, overall level. So that's in-ears or whatever, these 8 ports. Try to get a pan shot. Throw that right there. So all 8, and then you can choose hey, how much am I going to send to this one? So I can create my own mix, and then you can do that for each one. Bam. Where's the other view? I like the other view better. Oh man, glitchy ass shit. See, it's not perfect. Maybe I need to update it. Either way, okay, I can't do the effects ends either, so I guess that ends part 1.